super abusive, and or your team, your spirit team. Hi, everyone, live on YouTube. If anyone joins me, let me know if you can hear me now. I think I have the right camera working now. So this is live, and it is December 18, 2022, just before Christmas. Let me know on YouTube if you can hear me now. I had to go out and come back in. Let me know if you can hear me. But so the main themes, let me start over. The main things that I see people coming to learn for their life lessons, for the most part, are setting and enforcing healthy boundaries, self-worth, self-love, and forgiveness. Of course, forgiveness is a big one in there. And then there's one more that I usually see. What is it? I'll think of it. But whatever themes keep kind of looping back in your life, that's an indication of what you came here to work on. So whatever themes kind of pop up in your life. And again, not everyone will see a past life if you are a brand new soul that just sparked off of creator. But even if you, let me say this, guys, even if you do see a past life, does not mean that it's your past life. I don't know if you guys have heard me talk before on something called imprints. Imprints are when you're preparing to come down here for a life. It could be your first life, or it could be that you're coming down here for a specific purpose. Let's say you're coming down here to be a really big business person, to bring some kind of modern technology into the world. So you will go to the Akashic library preparing for this life, and you can check out a book just like you do in the public library here. You check out a book and you basically read or download all the contents of other lives where people did that exact thing or similar to what you're coming here to do now. And they download that information into them. And so if I were to do a past life regression session on them, they would tell me a life from that big business person and truly believe that it is a past life of theirs, even though they're not the ones who lived it. It's an imprinted life. But it gave them the skills and the knowledge and the background to be able to go forward in this life and accomplish what it is they wanted to do in this lifetime. So, for example, I had a woman who we went through her whole past life, and I thought, but I was skeptical, but I thought, wow, everything's checking out. I think she really is Henry Ford. But then I kept listening. And then I asked a question about his son. And I said, oh, so did you have any children? Oh, yeah, I had a son. Oh, so did he take over the company when you died? And the answer was no. He died when he was really young. Well, I knew that Henry Ford's son ended up taking over Ford Motor Company. So I knew that he didn't just leave it to the board of directors. And I knew his son took over. So at that point I said, aha, I think this is an imprinted life. And she remembered one of the details incorrectly. And that gave me a clue that she actually did not live this life. So once I called forth her higher self later in her hypnosis session, so we look at a past life, then we look at what they do in between lives. Then I call forth their higher self, and they're channeling their higher self. Then I asked her higher self if that was a past life that she actually lived, and the answer was no, that was an imprinted life. So let me put on YouTube and ask, can everyone hear me now? Let's see. Okay, so let me see if anyone has any questions. Can you recommend self-hypnosis techniques? Thank you. Love your love your content. Self-hypnosis techniques, honestly, guys, really, hypnosis and meditation are the same thing. So you really just find some really good guided meditations to work on. I have a really good one. If you guys are interested, you can email me because it's going to be up on my website soon, but it's not there yet. I apologize. I just emailed my operations manager tonight and asked him to get it out on my website. But if you guys email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com, I will be able to send you a free download for a meditation that I made on talking and meeting your higher self. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to email me at tracy@wokelightworker.com and just ask me for the free meditation that I made, meeting your higher self. I'll be happy to send that to you guys. No problem. So I would say if you guys are on a spiritual journey at all, If you have any issues in your life, you want more peace, you want more calm, anything, any issues, any answers to anything, when you quiet your mind, that's when you get to hear from your spirit team, and that's when you get guidance. And so meditation, don't look specifically for the word hypnosis. It's the same thing. So just look for some really good guided meditations that will lead you to meeting your spirit team or meeting your higher self. So again, if you're interested in getting that free meditation from me, it's Tracy@wokelightworker.com. Just shoot me an email. I'll have my assistant get all over it and email you guys a copy that you can download, okay? So, can you forgive someone who is still hurting you and won't likely stop to hurt you? Of course you can. You should, because if you don't forgive someone who is hurting you, oh, I had someone email me right now. Please send me the meditation free. Awesome. Again, Tracy@wokelightworker.com. I'll send you the meditation. She'll get on it tomorrow. So it probably won't happen tonight, guys. But yes, we want to learn. We want to work on forgiveness, because forgiveness is not for the other person. I know you guys have probably heard that. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for us. And that's for our heart, for our emotions. Because when we hold trapped emotions in us, let's say you're holding unforgiveness, or you're holding anger, you're holding resentment or bitterness, or a trapped emotion of rejection or abandonment, those are low frequency emotions, and those emotions are going to vibrate in your body. So let's say you're holding it next to your heart, unforgiveness, and that energy, that unforgiveness is going to vibrate at a low frequency next to your heart. And the law of resonance says that the organs and systems around that are going to start to match that vibration. It's going to start affecting the vibration of your heart, of any surrounding organs. And so you want to pull out all trapped emotions and deal with low frequency emotions that you have as soon as they come up. Because the longer you hold those things, the longer you have those things, the more damage it's going to cause you physically. And remember, the body doesn't speak your language. The body doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak Spanish or French. The body talks the way it talks. So body talk is showing you that there's something out of alignment with you by bringing in sickness or disease. And that's just the language of the body. Wow, I got all kinds of requests coming in for my free higher self hypnosis meditation. So again, if you guys want that, email me, Tracy@wokelightworker.com, and I'll have my assistant send that out to you, the free meditation on meeting your higher self. So I saw Betsy email me just now for that too. So you want to get those out and deal with it and not hold on to those low frequency emotions, because that's just your body talking to you. And then you're going to be like, oh, how did I end up getting breast cancer? Okay, you got to get rid of that. A lot of times cancer is anger and resentment, but it's not always. I mean, I see lots of things when I talk to people's higher selves. We deal a lot with cancer. I get a lot of people coming to me about cancer, and their higher self answers all kinds of questions for them: how they got it, why they gave it to themselves, why they energetically attracted it into their lives. So you can work with your higher self to get all these trapped emotions out of you. And actually, you guys, I have a class. It's 4 weeks long, starting January 10. It's going to be on Tuesday evenings for about 2 hours a week for 4 weeks. You'll get a replay. You don't have to be there live. If you're there live, you get to ask live questions. But that's all about connecting to your higher self. We're going to learn about how do you work with your higher self to pull trapped emotions. And then I have a healing class coming up in the spring on working with your higher self, just on healing, emotional, mental, physical healing, that you will learn a ton. But the higher self one, it's how do we quiet that inner critic, the January class, how do we quiet that inner critic and live more as our higher self and not as much as our ego self? Because the ego self is the one that gives you all these ups and downs emotionally, mentally, physically. Oh my gosh, we do not want to be living from our ego self. We want to be living as our higher self, our spirit self, our authentic self, our God self. Because when we live from that place, that's when we can have so much more peace. That's when we learn how to see things in our life from a different perspective. If you guys go to my YouTube channel, I just had someone write me a review. We did a session last week This girl got so much healing. And if she's here, I'm not going to name her name, but if she's here, hi. But she had a really good session. I do a lot of coaching in the intake portion. I call it intuitive coaching. So I'll look at things and see, and I always tell people, I'm like, don't be offended if I say this. I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. No judgment. Oh my gosh. I mean, my life used to be a total mess. I'm finally at a place where I have peace. I learned much more how to live from the perspective of my higher self. Am I perfect? Of course I'm not perfect. Of course I'm not. But I'm way different than I used to be. Like way, way, way different. I don't hold anger anymore. Oh my gosh, I held so much anger, you guys. I couldn't even get in my car without raging at everyone around me on the road. I actually went to therapy a few times, which didn't help me. But I said to the therapist, I said, I don't even know what to do because I can't even get in my car anymore without being completely enraged at everyone else around me on the road. And they might even just not even be doing anything. They just happen to be in front of me. And I was just so full of anger and just anger, all these emotions, these things that just get us up. Again, it's just showing you that you're out of alignment. And then Purita asked, can you find the root cause of extreme fear? Let's talk about that in a little bit. Um, all of these emotions were just welling up in me. And I went to therapy, and I mean, she had me just start talking about all my problems, but that didn't help me. It didn't help me until I found spirituality and I started actually learning how to pull out these trapped emotions, which when I do higher self hypnosis sessions, that's a big chunk of time that we spend in my session pulling out trapped emotions, because you want to pull the weeds out of your garden, so to speak, so that you can come in and put in all these beautiful things. Like I'll ask, can you download creator's definition and perspective of self-love or peace or joy? Can you create an abundance of receptors in this person's cells for peace or for joy? Can you teach their heart, mind, body, and emotion what it feels like to love themselves? Teach them, because if you're working off your definition of self-love, that's not creator's definition. We want creator's definition of self-love, of self-worth, of peace, of calm, downloaded into you, just like we're like computers or something. And then teaching your heart, mind, body, and emotions what it feels like to have that new definition from creator's perspective. And so working with your higher self, guys, you can register at my website, wokelightworker.com, for my class. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about the class in January. It's going to be so good teaching you guys how to work with your higher self, how to pull the trapped emotions, how we're going to do little exercises and meditate, short meditations to actually put these things into practice. It's not going to just be me speaking at you the whole time. I'm going to teach you some concepts about living more as your higher self, getting out of living in the chaos of your persona or your ego, and living more as your authentic God self, so that you're not having those ups and downs. So you can see life from a different perspective. So you can register for that. Again, that class starts in January, and it's wokelightworker.com. And I think it says higher self courses or something like that. But the teaching that I'm giving you in these courses is stuff I've learned from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of higher self hypnosis sessions. This is all stuff that I've learned. You can find Parita on YouTube is asking, can you find the root cause of extreme fear? 100%. Your higher self will tell you what the root cause is. And in the sessions that I do, these higher self hypnosis sessions that I do, I always ask if your higher self, what is the root cause? And I will tell you this, probably 70 to 80% of the time, the root cause either comes from a previous life or another life, and or it's generational. And so what I will say in that instance and ask your higher self to do is, what happened in that life where it originated? Oh, she was thrown off a cliff. Let's say she was, banned by the village for doing something, and she was thrown off a cliff. And now she has this extreme fear of heights. So, and that's where it started. But in this life, she still has a really bad fear of heights. And that's because That is something that our soul wants us to address. And it tells us that it wants us to address it by putting it in our face, by having it be something we see in our external world, because it's something going on in the inside that needs healing in us. So pay attention to what are your fears? What are the looping patterns going on in your life? Because those are the things that your soul, your spirit team, your higher self, your guides, your spirit council, all want you to be addressing in this life. That's how you know what you're here to address. If you have extreme anger, where did this extreme anger come from? Obviously, this is something that you want to have addressed. Forget unforgiveness, extreme fear. So in my higher self hypnosis sessions, and I'll teach you guys how to do this in my January class too, in connecting with your higher self. That's the name of it. It starts January 10. It's for 4 weeks. But what I'll do is I'll say, where did it begin? What happened in that life? And can you go back and pull it by the root, that fear, that extreme fear, pull it by the root and pull it through every single other life that they've ever lived up until now. Send that extreme fear to Creator's light and replace it with unconditional love and light and the energy of peace and calm. And what does that look like what does it look like as you do that? And the higher self will go on and describe what it looks like to actually do that. And describe, like, let's say, oh, it looks like I'm pulling this long string and I'm throwing it up to Creator. And then I'm downloading this beam of light across all these lives and through the generational lineage. And that's what it looks like. So I hope that helps. Yes, you can pull extreme fear. Your higher self can deal with all that. And if your higher self in a higher self hypnosis session does not do it, I will say, well, what can she do to get moving toward resolving that fear on her own? What can she do to pull that anger on her own? Because sometimes your higher self will say, no, I can't remove that for her because this actually just happened last week. I can't remove, there was like 2 or 3 things that her higher self was like, nope, I'm not removing that, because then she won't have anything to work on. And she wants these things to work on and do it herself. It's kind of like when you work a job and save your money and buy a car on your own when you're 16 versus your parents just handing it to you. Like, you just don't appreciate it very much. You just don't. So, anyway, yeah, I think I got off track. Let me go back to some of your questions. Let me see what anybody else has to say. What about the negative voices? I'm sorry, I'm a psychic too. I'm just having a hard time with emotions. What about the negative voices? Well, if you have negative voices, you want to find out, first of all, what are those negative voices? Is it some sort of external influence? Is it a wayward? Is it a dark energy? Is it a dark entity? Is it an imprint left over from, let's say I had a client just last week whose dad was a narcissist, very, very abusive to her, verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically. And her dad, we asked if there were any energetic imprints on her from his words. And the answer was yes. It left spots in her aura. And so we cleaned up her aura and got those all cleaned out and then sent them to Creator's light and downloaded peace into her and cleaned up her aura that way. So that is something where some of the voices might be coming from. But you guys, we are bombarded all the time. There are all kinds of dimensions, lives happening all around us. I told, was it on my last live I talked about it? I think I read on my last live, and you guys can watch my previous lives on my YouTube channel under the live tab. I think it was my last live. I talked about this woman who had some portals, or it was on a TikTok. I'm sorry, I can't remember, but she has portals in her house where all these ETs in different dimensions are coming and going and doing work and observing her and observing things on Earth and coming in and out of this portal in her house. So there's so much different activity. And the one ET, I think she called her, was it Myra? I think she called her. This one ET is talking to her all the time, wanting her to channel for her, talking about the earth and the soil and just different things like that. So I mean, finding out the root of where it are these voices coming from. You said the snizzle, she said, what about negative voices? It would just be a matter of finding out where these negative voices are coming from. So if you do it on your own, you're just going to want to go into a meditation and ask your spirit team or your higher self to show you, where is this coming from? Is this a dark energy, dark entity, wayward demon? Where is this coming from? And so my daughter's here, everyone. She's going to join me, I think. What? Actually, probably right here, sit right here, but that chair might be too high because the camera is a little bit lower. No? Why don't you try? So, my daughter's here, everybody. She likes to talk all things higher self and past life hypnosis and spiritual too. But I think this chair might be too high. No? Let's see if we can make it work. This is Cherish. Yeah, I told you it's too high. All they can see is your chest. Go get a lower chair. Maybe I can move this. Maybe I can move it a little bit. Let me see. And then you're going to have to squeeze in a little bit. Let's see what else we got. We as spiritual beings can take 2 routes. Oh, shoot. 2 routes up. Being a light or dark. I'm not sure what that means. And then the snizzle said it's so much deeper than meditating. You can always ask your higher self in a higher self hypnosis session. Like if you want to do something like this, we would for sure get the answer as to how and where you picked it up or what it is that's talking to you and what do we have to do to silence it. And I'm sure, since you said you're a psychic, that you have shielded yourself and protected yourself. So what is it that's causing this, whatever it is, to still be able to talk negatively to you? So I have not seen everything out there that there is that could be causing this, because I don't ever get to the point where I think I've seen it all. But if I ever would, I can't imagine ever getting to that point, because I mean, I do sessions every single day and I always learn something new. There's always something like, oh my gosh, I never would have known that, or I never would have thought about that. So I'm always learning something new. Can you answer mine? Taylor Morgan said. Taylor, what was your question? I don't see it. Does black magic have negative impact on people? Yes, it does. So when we do higher self hypnosis sessions, then a lot of times I ask if they have any wayward curses, demons, hexes, spells, or if they've made any vows in any other lives that, oh, thank you for the rose. Izarg111. Thank you on TikTok. Hi, Angie on YouTube. So I ask if there's anything like that, and if it is, to have it removed. But yes, there is black magic out there and it does do things. And a lot of times it's passed down generationally and through family lines. So you have that. Let me see. How can I get clarity on whether to leave my partner or not? Well, if you're asking the question, the answer is probably yes, that you should. That's almost always what it is, but we block ourselves a lot from wanting to put the burden on answering that question on other people because we have fear about it. And so we want to hear other people's opinions on, well, should I leave this person? Shouldn't I? You can ask your higher self in a higher self hypnosis session if you should be leaving this person. Sometimes I will tell you that even when you think that you want to, when you think you want to leave a person, she's cracking her knuckles in my ears, distracting. When they want to leave a person, their higher self will tell them, oh no, that would not be in your best and highest good, because you guys have a contract to be together. And so you need to work on A, B, and C in order to make this marriage or this relationship work. I do see that sometimes. But then other times, majority of the time, it's, it doesn't really matter if you leave the person or if you don't, because either way, you're going to learn a lesson and you're going to have an experience. It's just a matter of what lesson and what experience do you want to have? Do you want to take the scenic back roads or do you want to take a more direct route to your spiritual growth? Because if you stay with someone who's toxic or, abusive in any way, doesn't value you, treat you the way you deserve to be treated, that you think you deserve to be treated, then you're going to learn lessons that way too by staying with them. And it'll just take you a little bit longer before or if you ever get to the point to leave them. So maybe you need to work more on setting and enforcing healthy boundaries. Maybe you don't have enough self-love. Maybe you don't value or, think you're worthy enough to find someone who's not quite as negative as this person. So either way, whether you leave someone or not, it's all an experience. And honestly, from a soul level, I will tell you, doing these sessions every day, your soul is like, it doesn't really matter because in the long run, because you're going to learn lessons and have experiences either way. But if you want the most direct route, I ask people's higher selves, what is the most direct route for her? Would it be to stay? Would it be for her to leave? And then your higher self will tell you honestly if it's okay, basically not okay, but if it's in your best and highest good to stay or leave. Yeah, you may create another issue, said Taylor. I see Brahma in a meditation once. I've been asking all kinds of mediums and psychics about this. I don't know who Brahma is. It is an incredible energy. It made me cry and I was terrified and overjoyed. It was strange. Hello, do you do sessions on my 14-year-old? 14-year-old, that's I have been doing, so this is my daughter Cherish, everyone. TikTok can't see you because you're not in the camera. So I have been putting her under hypnosis since she was 11. And yes, so sessions can happen, but your child has to be open to it. Of course, I have to have you sign saying that you agree to it. And they have to be able to visualize and quiet their mind. Because if they can't quiet their mind in a meditation, they're not going to be able to quiet their mind in this. Because like I said earlier, this is literally the same thing as a meditation. You have to be able to quiet your mind, to quiet the inner critic is the better word that I should say, because otherwise you're going to be sitting there the whole time going, this isn't working. I'm just making all this up. This, this isn't even really happening. So is there a best way we can do to see if we have entities or attachments? Yeah, going into meditation and just asking and scanning your body mentally, scanning your body and your aura and seeing if you feel anything and working with your spirit team. So this is going to take you in meditation, working with your spirit team and knowing how to communicate with them if you don't already know how to talk to your higher self and your guides. But I mean, a quick way, that's doing it on your own. A quick way is to do a higher self hypnosis session where we just ask your higher self, hey, do they have any waywards, demons, negative energies, negative entities impacting them anywhere in their aura, in their body, anywhere? Let me see. How do you know if it's your last life on earth? I mean, you don't. You can ask your higher self, but just because, okay, I'll tell you, I had this session last week and we asked this question because she's like, I don't want to be coming back here. And her higher self said, yeah, she doesn't want to be coming back here. But when she gets to the other side, when she gets, out of the physical world, she's actually really excited to come back to Earth and other planets because it's so packed full of adventure. And we don't feel the emotions when we're on the other side. And when we're planning these lives, we don't feel the emotions that we feel when we come down to Earth. And so we're just in the excitement of, oh, I'm going to learn these lessons. I'm going to learn this and I'm going to learn this. I'm going to have all these experiences and I get to play mom this time and you get to be the daughter this time, or you get to be the daughter and I get to be the mom. So we actually get really excited about these. So even though our human mind is a lot of times kind of obsessed with, I need this to be my last life, or I'm not going to have kids because I don't want to create any extra karma. Well, just FYI, it does not mean that you're on your last life just because you don't have kids. So a lot of people, that's some fallacy going around out there. For some people, it means they're on their last life, but it has nothing to do with you having kids or not having kids, just FYI. So hello from Canada, Sassy. How are you? Does your higher self tell you what? Your higher self can answer every question and tell you anything and everything. Do you have tips about dealing with spirit guides? I want to start my spiritual awakening. I have and that was asked by Diana. Diana, if you go to my website, wokelightworker.com, I have a really, really good class that I wish I would have had when I started my spiritual journey. And it's called the 4-week Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp, and it's available on demand now because I did it live in November. So now it's on demand, so you can watch all 4 weeks. Each class was about 2 hours. And I gave all the information that I wish I would have had when I first woke up spiritually. And it's pretty low cost considering all the information you get. And there's one class where we work specifically on who are all of the, not all, but a big chunk of the beings on the other side of the veil who are here to help you. And it's more than just spirit guides. And who are they? And how do you work with them? How can you work with them? That I didn't even learn until I was well into my spiritual journey. So check that out. It's called 4-week Spiritual Awakening Bootcamp, and you can get it at wokelightworker.com, available on demand. And then guys, if anyone's just joining me, remember to shoot me an email, tracy@wokelightworker.com, if you want to get my free meditation on meeting your higher self. So I did this meditation, meeting your higher self. So I'll have my assistant work the way down the list with you guys. If you want to just shoot me an email, tracy@wokelightworker.com, and just ask for the free higher self meditation. Okay. I call my spirit guides they. I don't know what to say, but I do. Yeah, or I just say my team or my spirit team. I mean, what do you say? Here. Let's hear from my daughter, Cherish, and hear what she has to say. So get yourself in the picture.
I just say they. I feel weird saying they though, like, and not just like, I don't know, but yeah, I say they.
You say they?
Yeah.
She talks to her team all the time. Tell them what you do. Get in the picture because they can't see you.
I don't talk to my team all that much. I talk to my team. I hear from my team a decent amount, but I don't prefer to talk to my team that much because I don't like any ego involved in what I hear. So I'll say over and over and over and over and over. Make sure this is the only creator I'm hearing. I'm commanding that I'm only hearing from creator and creator's truth. And even if other beings are putting their input in, and other energies, even the trees, if they want to talk to me too.
The trees?
Yeah. Then still through creator's highest truth and perspective and alignment.
Yeah. She works a lot directly with creator versus spirit guides. She does, she's taken some classes called Theta Healing. That's THETA. They're incredible classes if you're looking to get some really, really good healing. And she's taken the first,
if you want to heal people,
she's taken the first 3 levels, and you work directly with creator in doing theta healing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to hold that? So twisting your bracelets. What other questions do we got? Has your daughter been hypnotized? Yes. I've been hypnotizing her since she was 11 years old. She's almost 16. It's been a while. But yeah, it's been a little while, but yeah, she does get hypnotized. Let me see what else we got. Why do I always have pressure in the forehead when I meditate or do a sound bath or do regressions? Yeah, actually a lot of people will get that because, I don't know for sure exactly in you. That'd be a question you could ask your higher self. But when I do higher self hypnosis sessions with my clients, a lot of them, not a lot, but some of them will end up with headaches afterwards. And it's just from their pineal gland working so much when they're doing these things. And so I just say, focus on grounding yourself afterward, drinking a lot of water. So you're going to want to make sure you're hydrated really well and just get some extra rest when you're doing it. But then ask your higher self to balance whatever it is before you do a meditation or a regression. Ask your higher self to just balance your body, to calm it, to calm that whole area in your head. And you can even imagine just like a blue light, a calming blue light just coming in through your crown chakra, and just feel it and watch it in your mind, just flow down your body, maybe giving extra attention to your forehead area. So that's an idea.
Or any color.
Yeah, or any color. And let me see what other questions we got on YouTube. Archangels have been amazing. Yes. I call God the big guy. Always have. I say me and the big guy are chill. I'm getting messages that I'm one of the 144,000 ascension symptoms. Is your daughter a star seed? Asked Sassy. Yes, she is a star seed. She is a blue avian. So if you know anything about blue avians,
usually,
yeah, they're very advanced. So yeah, she is. Let me see what else we got. I've been seeing angel numbers ever since my dad passed away, all day, every day. Is that him? It's likely him or your team sending you messages that he's good. But a lot of times I see in my higher self hypnosis sessions, I will see people's family members staying around in the spirit after they pass, or sending a part of them, having a part of them remain on the earth to watch over their loved ones. I see this a lot. And then they'll actually go to the light once their daughter passes, leaves from this life, or their wife, or whoever it is that they stayed here to watch over. So I see that a lot in my sessions. So, thank you for the rose. Life in the, it went so fast. Life in the spin cycle. Ooh, I like that name.
Wait,
Life in the spin cycle. Thank you for the rose. I love that name.
And I would say pay attention to what you're thinking, where you are, what you're doing before.
Thank you, Moon Bella, for the roses.
Before you see the angel numbers, because you can ask for it to be revealed to you more about why you're seeing the angel numbers, and then just pay attention to your surroundings, your thoughts, how you feel before you see them.
Yeah, Moon Bella, thank you so much. 9 roses. Wow, thank you. Validations 111, someone said on YouTube. Do you know how many times you and your daughter reincarnated together? No, we don't know how many times, but we know it's been more than a couple, where we keep going back and forth between this mother-daughter role. So she just has to learn how to love me more. That's all. Then we'll be fine.
We both need to learn a lot of things.
She just needs to learn how to not be so difficult.
And you need to learn how to not be
I'm a really good mom. FYI.
Yes, you are.
I'm a really good mom.
You are very blind to your hypocrisy a lot.
Ooh. Okay, we'll take that offline.
Aspects.
We'll take that one offline. Okay. Serendipity on purpose. Gave smiley, goofy faces. Okay. Let me see what other kind of questions we got. Hi, everyone on YouTube. I have a hard time asking questions to get them under. Do you have any Jay's electricity? I have a hard time asking questions to get them under. Do you have any suggestions? Questions for what? This kind of hypnosis? I'm not sure what you're asking exactly. Let me see what else I got. I honestly don't know who I'm talking to. I'm guessing my spirit guide or my higher self. It doesn't matter. You can just talk to your spirit team. It doesn't have to be
whoever you're hearing from.
Yeah. Like, am I talking to a guide? Am I talking to, my higher self? Just call it your team. That's why I do it. I just call it my team, my spirit team.
Call it whatever feels right for you to call it. You can find out who you're talking to if you just ask and believe what you hear when you ask, if it feels right, what you're hearing when you ask.
Yeah.
But just make sure that it's always through Creator's highest, or Creator's truth.
Yeah.
So that you know that you're not getting any falsity.
Somebody asked me, Nat Marie 08, you mentioned the website before. What is it for the healing? What website did I mention for healing? Oh, Theta Healing, THETA. Theta Healing is a type of healing work that you can do. I use Theta Healing inside of my hypnosis sessions. When I do higher self hypnosis sessions, I use Theta Healing. So, like, I have some people that I'm going to be starting to mentor in January. And if anyone believes truly, truly, truly 100% that doing higher self hypnosis is your purpose, like that's why you came to the planet, I recommend you guys don't just be like, oh, let me try that. That sounds interesting. But if you really believe that doing something like this is your purpose, part of what you're supposed to be doing down here, you can email me, Tracy@wokelightworker.com, and I will send you a video because I'm going to be doing some mentoring in January. There is a cost to it because I'm giving you years of experience and many, many, many tens of thousands of dollars of knowledge that I have paid for, tens of thousands of dollars plus coaching and business coaching. But I'm going to be offering, I'm calling it like a business in a box thing, where it talks about not only teaching you how to do this and learning how to do it, but how to set up the business too, how to do the whole business side of it so you can start your spiritual business. So if you really know that it's part of your purpose, you can go ahead and message me. But I do require that anyone who works with me does theta healing. They learn theta healing, the first 2 or 3 levels of theta healing, because I do teach using theta healing on the inside of all of my sessions.
I know, it's annoying.
I know. So anyway, you can always email me at Tracy@wokelightworker.com. And again, if you guys want that free connecting with your higher self meditation on meeting your higher self, go ahead and email me asking for the free meditation. I'll have my assistant send it out to you, Tracy@wokelightworker.com. Let me see. Let me see. What else do we got? Tips on quieting my son's mind before a session. It's so when I've asked higher self what people can do to prepare themselves for doing higher self hypnosis sessions or even past life regression sessions, it's practicing guided wake time meditations. And if you guys go to my website, wokelightworker.com, on the videos tab, there's a few meditations that I pulled off YouTube just from some other people that I thought were really good to practice with, that I recommend for everyone preparing for a session with me. So that's my website, wokelightworker.com, under the videos tab. Let me see what else we got. Oops. Let me see. Have you always done this kind of spiritual work in the past lives here on earth? No, I have not. I was a realtor for 14 years. And at the same time, I was a court reporter for 14 years. So that's what I used to do. And then before that, I was an executive assistant for like executives at big companies, like presidents and stuff.
And who knows what you did in all your other lives here.
Yeah. Who knows on other lives what I've done, but I know I've had other lives where I've been a healer. But just FYI, guys, we've all been part of the light and part of the dark. And we are part of the dark because then we can know and experience the light, and we get a different perspective. We gain compassion, we gain understanding, and we learn both sides. You don't want to learn just one side of everything. Creator has created everything as a learning experience. And even though there are things on this planet that we call dark or evil, those things are here so that everyone can experience both sides. And so knowing that we have also been a perpetrator of things that we would consider very dark or very evil, is how we learn that, yeah, maybe I don't want to do that or be like that. Let me choose the light. And so then we can tend to choose the light more in other lives, and we get a more well-rounded soul.
Yeah,
versus being one-sided.
It's easy to choose the light when that's all you've known, but when you've been the dark, through the dark, experienced dark, and then you choose light at the end of that, it's necessary. Yeah.
Can you channel like Daryl Anka? No, but he's amazing. Bashar is amazing. No, I talk to people's higher selves when they're in a really relaxed meditative state. I call it hypnosis. It's, like I said a few times already here, hypnosis is the same thing as meditation. You're just getting in a really, really relaxed state where you quiet the ego mind or the persona, you quiet that part of you.
And let your higher self channel.
What?
And let your higher self channel.
And let your higher self
Or
channel it. Yeah, because
whoever
so
else.
your higher self is the one who's bringing through all of the answers that Bashar does. So everything that Bashar says, I hear all day, every day from people's higher selves. So, are you a psychic? No, I'm not a psychic. I do intuitive coaching in my sessions or outside of my sessions. I do intuitive coaching by listening. I can listen to my team. My team talks to me all the time. And so I share what my team is saying to me in my head, but I'm not psychic in the respect of, oh, I can tell that you're going to move here or end up marrying this person or anything like that. I don't do that. I'm having a hard time understanding how Creator created murderers, says Orbic Girl. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. So I wasn't going to share this story because I told this person that I did this session with this weekend that I just really don't feel like the world is ready for this. But I mean, it's in line with the question that you just asked. So she had a dream. My client had a dream that she used to be a sex trafficker. So she wanted to ask her higher self, like, what the heck was that? Because she's definitely a light worker in this lifetime, guys. She's definitely a light worker. She's really connected. She's super connected. And her higher self said, yeah, she was. That was what she did in past lives, and actually more than one past life that she's done that. And the reason she did it was to gain an understanding from the other side of things. Then she has also been the victim of trafficking many times. So she went from being the perpetrator to the victim so she could see both sides of it and feel and understand both sides of it. And when I asked her higher self, I said, wow, that's a lot for a human mind to grasp. That's really a lot. And her higher self said, yeah, we understand that it can be a lot because humans like to label everything as positive or negative or good or bad. And they give everything meaning. But none of this has meaning. It's an experience. It doesn't have any meaning other than the meaning we give it. And whatever meaning we give anything, let's just pretend it's not even this topic anymore. Whatever event it is, it could be, your husband walking out on you or your wife walking out on you. It could be the greatest day of your life when that happens, or it could be the most awful day of your life, or it could be, okay, fine, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be sad for a couple of days, but I'll be fine. And any reaction in between there, it could run the spectrum. So we are the ones that give it meaning based on what's going on inside of us. So it's how we view the world, and how we view the world is based on our past experiences.
And each experience each experience that happens to us going forth is just to further evolve our mindset and our beliefs and how we view the world, our perspective. So negative and positive, in the end, it is positive. Or positive.
Well, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good because it's all an experience.
And that's why it has no meaning. Because in the, if you know the truth behind everything, then you really have nothing to worry about, because everything in the end is it's planned.
Yeah. It's all just a planned experience, guys. Yeah. It's just an experience. And when we are on the other side, planning these experiences and planning these lives, we don't have the emotion that we put into it. We get the emotion by being humans on earth. And that's why we'll then label it as, oh, this is good, or this is bad, or, oh, that's evil. And I can't believe that God would create murderers. God created experiences. So, and we have free will, and we get to choose whatever experiences we want. We want to experience the depths of darkness, so then we can truly come back up to the light and go, oh my gosh, what a contrast, because Earth is all about contrast. It's all about duality. Earth is a planet of duality and contrast. And just knowing that and understanding that. And we are all light unless you're unless you are like I have a class, you guys, it's available on demand on my website. It's so good. You guys got to take it. It's called Gaslighting, Manipulation, and Narcissism. It's available on demand on wokelightworker.com. Oh, I got some stories in there for you guys. Number one, about the narcissist in my life and my story. If you guys don't know my story, yeah, I had a very traumatic, it ended very traumatically. That marriage with my first husband was a narcissist. And so that was a lot. If you guys don't know my story, that's part of that class, Gaslighting, Manipulation, and Narcissism. But a number of people's higher selves have talked to me about narcissists, and not all, probably about 60% of them are not human. They're actually reptilian or other beings, and they are inhabiting bodies. So not all of them, but a lot of them are. And so if you guys ever had a narcissist in your life, find yourself looping in patterns of being with narcissists, anything like that, definitely check it out on wokelightworker.com under my courses. It's called Gaslighting, Manipulation, and Narcissism. You will learn a ton. I spent a lot of time prepping and training for that class, in addition to having sessions almost every single day with someone having a narcissist in their life, a lot of times a parent. And then they go on to recreate that whole scene with partners or friends or roommates or whatever it is, because you came here to learn specific lessons, have specific experiences with that narcissist, and then you keep recreating it until the lesson is learned, until the lesson is done. So what is it, and how do you break away? How do you co-parent with a narcissist? How do you move on after a narcissist? What are the patterns to look for when you're dating? Like, what do you even look for? So definitely check that class out, guys. It's on my website, wokelightworker.com, under courses. My dad and mom and dad are alcoholic narcissistics. Yep. Very common that they mix alcohol in their lives when they're a narcissist, because, I mean, gosh, how can they even deal with themselves? Like, imagine being that way and looking at yourself in the mirror every day. You'd probably drink too. But seriously, take that class. It will help you a lot. If you have kids with a narcissist, will the children not be human if they are not? No, that's not true. They could gain access to your children, but if anyone is possessed, or it's a reptilian or something else that is the one that's in the body, sometimes that original soul will stay in the body with the reptilian, and sometimes that soul just leaves and it literally just is the reptilian in there. So it really just depends on the situation. But it does not mean that the children will be that way. And a lot of times you can pick up something called fleas. Like, when you sleep with dogs, you get fleas, and you might have a lot of narcissistic traits, but it doesn't mean that you are a full-blown narcissist. Not always. Some kids turn out to be narcissists when they have narcissistic parents. It just happens. But that's usually something that's part of your soul plan before you come down here, that you're going to experience being that way. I thought my ex-narcissist was just hijacked by 4D entities. 4D entities? Ooh, I can't imagine a narcissist being with 4D entities. Take that class. Seriously, guys, you will learn a ton. I share stuff from my sessions about what people's higher selves have said about these narcissists. I share a lot of stories in there with you too. Have you ever been able to pinpoint when the possession takes place? When it takes place. Yeah. And some of my clients will ask, like, what happened with their dad. Sometimes it's agreed upon before they come down here. Sometimes it's when they're a really young child. It's really just going to depend on the person. It totally depends on the person. There's no hard and fast rule. Yeah, the one I married was a combination of my parents and then some. Yep. Because we keep playing that out, trying to heal that situation. So that's what I said. When there's something going on in your life, if it's like a looping or a continuing pattern, it's your soul's way of telling you, hello, ding, ding, ding. You need to deal with this. Like, what is it in you that needs to be healed so that you don't keep repeating this. And it's always a me question or a you question. This is my favorite question. I've said this before on my lives. What is it in me that needs to be healed in order for me to not keep attracting narcissists or keep attracting toxic people or keep attracting alcoholics? Or what is it in me that needs to be healed so that I won't be triggered by, whatever, when my brother picks on me like that or whatever it is. I'm a certified hypnotist, but it's just one of my tools, said Sassy. Nice.
And most of the time you won't realize it like easily at all. So you have to really, really think about it and really pay attention.
Pay attention to what?
To repeated sequences and experiences, or even if it's not, you might not think it's repeated, even if you think about it really hard, but then you think back to when you were 2 years old and something happened to you that you forgot about, and then it can relate to it, and then you're like, oh, I still haven't healed from that, and I need to work on that because it instilled that in me since then.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need to literally be aware of everything.
It's doing a lot of introspection. If you guys, if we walk through life unconsciously, just based on, oh, it's another day, I'm just going to get up and go to work and do what I do every day, you're not consciously creating your life. If you guys want to learn how to consciously, so here's another one. If you guys want to learn how to consciously create the life you want to live, I have a class, guys, it's $11. And it probably took me about 10 hours to write this class, plus everything I've learned through people's higher selves. Go to my website, wokelightworker.com, and buy that class. I'm telling you, 15 minutes a day to start changing your life, to make it a life you want to live. Because until you are a conscious creator, you're going to keep creating your life from the same patterns and habits. And you're going to just keep going through life unconsciously on autopilot. I mean, I look at my life when I was raising my kids. Oh my gosh, I was just like going to work, doing the grind, like come home, make dinner, run him to this activity, run him to that activity. And that was my whole life. Like I never even stopped to think about it, except every, once in a while I'd be like, wow, I'm kind of unhappy with my life. Or the anger, like I said, I had so much anger, the anger just building and building and building inside of me. And I didn't know where it was coming from. So angry, I couldn't even get in my car without raging on everyone. Like I said earlier, it was crazy. And I wasn't consciously creating my life. Like, what does it mean to consciously create your life? What does that look like? So
and some people don't want to.
Yeah. If you don't want to, you don't want to.
Yeah.
Right. But if you want to, I have a course. Like I so wish I would have had that course when I was starting my spiritual journey, or even before I started my spiritual journey, because it probably would have woken me up. But you can go to my website, Woke Light Worker.
Was for a reason. So.
Yeah. I woke up when I was supposed to. What makes a person sad in their life? Did I choose to be sad? Feel like I was? No, if you're sad, it just means you're out of alignment. It just means you're out of alignment with the truth. So it's finding out what is the truth and getting back in alignment with the truth. And so it's being conscious, like I just said, consciously creating your life, being consciously aware of what's going on with you, and being the creator of your life instead of letting things just happen in your life and being subjected to every emotion that just kind of comes along and passes your way. So it's really being conscious of that, living as your higher self, from your higher self perspective, instead of your lower self or your ego or your persona, whatever you want to call it. So living from your higher self, like I said, I have that class coming up starting in January, connecting to your higher self, where we're going to learn what the ego is, how to not live from the ego, if that's what you want, and how to live more as and be more of your higher self, so that you're not getting tossed around by all these emotions or living in sadness. And then I have another class coming up in the spring about let that sheet go, live a life of peace and joy. That's another one that I have coming up that I cannot wait to teach that one. Why don't I have any friends? I'd have to know way more about you to know why you don't have any friends. I'm so sorry. That's a tough one. I can't even Can't even tell you that. Why in a family we go through the same thing, drugs and sexual abuse? That's because you are probably the pattern breaker, the generational breaker who came here to deal with it. Um, and I see that a lot in my higher self hypnosis sessions, that we are the generational breakers, that we come here to break these patterns. And so, yeah. Let me see. What else do we got? Um, can a narcissist change? A narcissist almost never changes, unfortunately, because a narcissist has to be willing on their own to go to therapy and get help. But narcissists do not have a problem in their minds. They are fully and 100% convinced that everyone else is the problem and it's not them. And so it's just like an alcoholic. You have to acknowledge and realize and admit that you're an alcoholic before you can get healing. And that's like anything. You have to acknowledge that you have a problem before you can get healed of it. And the narcissist will never admit they have a problem. If they do go to therapy, it's usually their partner threatening to leave them, and you are their energy source, you are their battery. And if you leave them, then their energy source leaves them and they won't have anybody to suck energy off of anymore. And so they'll do it as an act to try to appease you, not to heal themselves ever. Like a narcissist, if someone's got narcissistic traits that they picked up from parents and they go to therapy, then they're not usually a narcissist. They've just got some narcissistic traits. And there's definitely help for them and hope for them. But a true narcissist, no. Almost never. That hits hard to experience that as a generational breaker, but makes so much sense. Yep. I need tips to quiet my child's mind. Yeah, meditation, just meditation. There's a really good meditation. If you go to my website, wokelightworker.com, on the videos tab, I have some meditations on there. There's some really good ones. There's one there that's like 15 minutes long that I highly recommend. Go check those out on my website. That would actually be a really good one for a teen or a preteen even. Really, really good. I have a hypnosis session recently and saw past lives, but I wasn't under. My higher self didn't come through. I'd have to know exactly like what happened with that. And I mean, I don't want to talk bad about any other therapists, but so I don't want to say anything. Saw past lives. So a lot of people have the misconception that being under means you're going to be totally knocked out. You're not going to remember anything. That's not the case. So that's why I tell people, you got to get this idea of hypnosis that you have in your head. You've got to throw that away because it's not what you think it is. And there's a particular organization that goes out there training that everyone goes into this deep state of trance. It's not true. Okay, guys, I have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sessions, and I probably have one trance channeler every month and a half to 2 months. One, that's it. Everyone else has incredible sessions talking to their higher self and seeing past lives without being a trance channeler. And so I coach you and lead you on how to do it without being a trance channeler. Trance channeler means you are just completely knocked out and you don't remember a thing. Like today, I had a session with a woman who looked at 2 past lives. This is going to go on my YouTube channel, guys. So make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Woke Lightworker. I have all my sessions out on my YouTube channel. Not all of them. I shouldn't say that. A bunch of sessions on my YouTube channel. I have even more on my Patreon channel, patreon.com/woke lightworker. But I had a session today. It's going to go on Patreon and YouTube where for the first past life, her conscious mind was fully there, but she was struggling. She was doubting it. She was saying in the back of her mind, her ego was saying, I'm never going to be able to go under. I'm never going to be able to go under. And that's because she had it in her mind that she needed to be knocked out. That's not how it works. Like I said, I have maybe one person every month and a half to 2 months who gets knocked out. She died in that past life. We finally got through it after her trying to quiet her mind the whole time and doubting herself. We got through that life. And then she saw the light after she died in that life. She saw the light. Then she went to the spirit realm. And from there, I think her higher self just kicked her conscious mind out because after that, she didn't remember a thing. So she was a conscious channeler turned trans channeler. And she did not remember a thing about the life in between lives, which was super interesting. And she did not remember the second life. And you guys are going to want to see this one. It's going to be up on my YouTube channel in the next day or two. But this one was really good. The second life, she, I don't want to give away the end, but she definitely spilled some government secrets because she used to work in a high, what do you call that? A secret clearance job. And yeah, she talked about some government secrets in there having to do with ETs and other planets. So you definitely want to check that one out. That's going to be on my YouTube channel this week, probably in the next day or two here, as soon as my video editor gets it out there. So what does hypnosis tell us about psychedelic healing methods? Has this ever come up? Yeah, actually, guys, if you do ayahuasca or mushrooms or anything like that for the purpose of getting in touch with your higher self, your God self, your authentic self, that's just a tool. It's just a tool. It's just a shortcut. It's not necessarily meant to be something that you use all the time long term, because you can take your meditation with practice. You can take your meditation to be the exact same state you can get into when you use a tool of ayahuasca or bufo or DMT or whatever it is that you're using. You can get yourself there. I can get myself there in my meditations. I don't need any of those things. My meditations are off the chart when I get into a real deep meditation. So you can, with practice, you can get your meditations that you can see the exact same things you could on Mother Ayahuasca. Let me see what else we got. Yeah, so going back to that question about not being out again, when you do a past life or higher self hypnosis session, don't expect to be a trance channeler. Just go in with the expectation that your conscious mind is going to be there, but it's going to be like in the background. It's almost going to be like it's sitting in the back seat, and you're just allowing your higher self voice to just come through without listening to this negative persona ego voice in the back going, you're never going to go under. This is not real. You're just making all this up. That's why you practice meditating, doing guided wake time meditations for weeks or months before you do a session like this. Because the more you practice, the more prepared you're going to be, because you will have practiced learning how to set aside that nagging ego voice and just listen to your higher self coming through. So I tell people, your success in your session is going to depend on your preparation. I will be able to tell if you don't do the pre-work and do wake time guided meditations to prepare yourself, because it will come through and it'll show in your session. And you got to stop having expectations, because you're likely not going to be a trance channeler. So hopefully that helped answer that question. What life lesson am I supposed to be learning by having chronic severe pain? You're supposed to be learning whatever those organs and diseases are telling you. And it depends on what they are. Like there's a really good book. Do you want to grab that book up there on the very top, babe? It's a really, really good book by Yvette Rose. She's getting it for me. It's by Yvette Rose, and it's called Metaphysical Anatomy. It's quite thick, as you can see. So Metaphysical Anatomy. And you can look up a lot of different diseases in this book and read what it is that's caused, like the psychosomatic symptoms for, like, let's look at polycystic ovary syndrome. Okay. PCOS on page 593. So if anybody has PCOS, I'm going to read your mail that Yvette Rose wrote about, 593. You feel blocked when connecting to your feminine side. It's one thing to show it, but it's an entirely different scenario to feel it and be connected to it. You have periods of your life when you have had to be more masculine. You were often relied on to cope with very stressful circumstances. You may have seen your mother become helpless in her life due to too many expectations and responsibilities. This may be the result of challenging relationship issues, jealousy toward a child, or not being able to cope with her life. You had to remain strong and be a shoulder to cry on. You may be confused as to what your actual role in the family should be. Looking back, you realize you've been playing the role of victim due to circumstances, which required you to step into certain roles into which you felt trapped. You have held a high level of responsibility from a very young age. You often feel challenged by your sexuality. It feels safer to be more masculine. So that side is more noticeable. You may feel that everything has to be hard and challenging. If it's too easy, you will fail. And then she goes on to list a whole bunch of key points to consider. And so that's where I'll use this book, Metaphysical Anatomy, when I do my higher self hypnosis sessions in helping to formulate my questions. Like right here, one of her key points says, explore ancestral trauma related to wives being abandoned or left by their parents. So maybe you have that, or it's ancestral. We'll ask that question. Is that a root cause of the PCOS? You had to be as strong as a man for survival, women being raised in harsh conditions and treated like men. There may have been a conflict between your parents about the desire for a boy or a girl. Lots of different things. Do you enjoy being female? Resentment and anger towards men, along with a deep need to protect themselves. This is related to ancestral trauma. Built up anger, high blood pressure, resentment, and vengeance in your mother had an impact on you in utero while you were in the womb. So there's like so many things that it could be, but every sickness and disease is your body just trying to talk to you and tell you something. So in these sessions, we work to uncover a lot of this, and we'll also ask your higher self, what is her body trying to say? One of my favorite questions when I do higher self hypnosis is, if we were to ask her body anything, what her body wants, what does her body most want to tell her right now? What would her body say? So maybe your body's like, I need more water. Or maybe your body's like, I need more downtime, or I need more sleep, or I need her to listen and slow down when she gets a headache, or whatever it might be. Is there such a thing as hypnosis resistance? If you want to make there such thing as hypnosis resistance, yeah, then there is. So we can make anything we want. We can resist anything, including hypnosis. Absolutely. But you can unresist it too, because you're the creator of your life. The book name again is called Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose. Yvette Rose.
We've used it personally, and it's always been like it.
Yeah. Every time I read something, if someone's got high blood pressure, arthritis, whatever it is, I read it and they're like, oh my gosh, you just summed up my whole life, whether it's mommy issues or daddy issues or whatever it is. I took Yvette Rose's level 1 training. Not impressed. Love her book. Was not impressed with the class. Let me see. What else do we got? Are the body injuries also teaching us? They can be. Injuries in our body can absolutely be teaching us different things. Not always. Injuries are kind of, no, I read about disease. Sometimes. What life lessons am I supposed to be learning? Oh, that we got that one. How often does the earth shift still get brought up? I don't know what you mean by earth shift. Do you mean like the new earth and the old earth? I actually just had a really, really, really good session last week. Actually, a couple that talked about the new earth grid. Really good, but I don't have time to get into it right now. But I think I might be like doing some sort of like, I might teach some sort of class or something once I get even more information on the earth grid and how we can connect to the new earth grid and why we want to, instead of connecting to the old matrix grid. Let me see. Not seeing a lot more questions. Guys, anybody else got a question? Anything higher self hypnosis or past life hypnosis? I'm going to have 5 more minutes and then I'm going to jump off because I've already gone over my hour limit that I gave myself by 20 minutes.
If something's coming to your mind, ask it. It's coming to your mind for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Anybody on YouTube got any questions? Let me see. But you guys, again, I have my class Connecting to Your Higher Self starting in January. If you can't be there live, you can get the replay. But that is all about how to live more as your higher self, connecting to your higher self, because you get way more peace in your life when you are living as your higher self. than living as your ego. And then I have my 4-week spiritual awakening boot camp. If you're kind of sort of newer to spiritual awakening, oh my gosh, it's everything I wish I would have known when I started my spiritual journey. We'll give you a huge jump start all in one place. That's on my website, wokelightworker.com. You can register for all my courses there. I've got for $11, Create a Life You Want to Live in 15 minutes a day. That's on my website. And then I have my gaslighting, manipulation, and narcissism class, which so much good information in that one. That's just a 2-hour class. I think we went 2.5 hours maybe. But that one is also for sale on my website, wokelightworker.com. You can check out all these on there. And then you guys, again, you can see full sessions from people's higher self hypnosis sessions or past life sessions on my Patreon channel. If you're on TikTok, just go in my bio and you'll get a link there. But otherwise, it's patreon.com. And then you search up the name Woke Lightworker, all one word. And then I have sessions on my YouTube channel also.
Money in the New Earth. I know it's not important. That's the shift question.
Oh, Money in the New Earth? Yeah, we got to dismantle the old one first, though. So who knows what New Earth? Because there's always has to be an exchange of energy. A lot of people are like, oh, can you give this away for free? Can you give that away for free? But it's hard to give something away for free when it takes not only 8 hours of your time during the day. So like if someone says, are you going to be giving away a free session? It's 8 hours of your day. And then I have a staff of 5 that I pay. And if I'm going to have a day without pay, I'm going to use that day for me because I don't give enough energy to me as it is. I'm constantly giving out and giving out and giving out through my classes, through free lives, through TikToks, through Instagram, through my YouTube, constantly giving out content. And if there's going to be a whole day where I'm not going to be paid, oh, good Lord, I'm going to use it for myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to walk my dog. I'm going to go in nature. I'm going to do some self-care and I'm going to do some self-love. So I'm sorry, guys, if no one's okay with the fact that I don't give away sessions. Plus, I can't pay my staff then. And if I can't pay my staff, then I don't have anyone to do all this social media stuff and help me out with that. Let me see. Love your videos. Thank you for them. You're so welcome, Maggie. Is it normal to feel like you're just trapped in here in this body and unsure what you're supposed to be? Yeah. And you have that trapped feeling because it's supposed to be driving you to figure out why you are here and what you're supposed to be learning. And so if you guys don't know your purpose, just know that your purpose is to learn, to be fully human and learn your lessons the best that you possibly can. So you don't have to keep coming back and repeating them, good Lord, right? So whatever is looping or coming up in your life, whether they're patterns from when you were younger, patterns that keep happening now, whatever it is, those are the things you want to focus on. Be aware of what's going on in your life so that you can look at what's going on and focus on what is it in me that needs to be healed in order to stop this pattern, in order to stop this relationship, this being around toxic people, whatever it is. So look at that. If you don't know your purpose, just start there. But then the other thing to do to find your purpose is to follow your joy. Yeah. Whatever brings you joy. Keep following that breadcrumb trail of excitement. And just Bashar,
pay attention.
Really
pay attention. What the little things that bring you joy that you might not think matter or even mean anything at all. Just something that you do daily even could be that you just do mindlessly. It could end up leading to your whole entire purpose.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that thing is your purpose. It means do whatever brings you joy. That's how I ended up here.
You'll find it eventually. Yeah. It'll lead. Yeah.
It'll lead you.
Breadcrumbs. It'll.
Yeah.
Just pay attention and trust and be ready to receive it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I ended up here where I'm doing this. And what I'm doing is I just kept taking course after course and certification after certification and training after training. And I mean, she knows I drug her around to so many things. I was going to every spiritual meeting I could find, all the time. And, this certification and that certification and this angel healing and that angel healing and Reiki this and Master Reiki and all this stuff. And everything was so exciting to me. And I just kept following it and grabbing more and more and more because that's what excited me. So whether it's spirituality or if it's something totally different, just take it as far as you can. Get books on it, read books on it. I mean, gosh, that's like all I've done is just read and constantly listening to new training and new exercises. And because it's my passion, it doesn't feel like work, but it led me to doing this. So just follow the breadcrumb trail of excitement. And while you're waiting, just work on living in love. Guys, I've mentioned this book before. I don't have it in front of me anymore. But if you want to know a book, if you don't know your purpose, especially, it's a book called A Return to Love by Mary Ann Williamson. Incredible book. I'm going to type it in the chat in YouTube. A Return to Love by Mary Ann Williamson. Whoops, Mary Ann Williamson. That book is incredible about walking in love because almost everyone has challenges at some point in their life with learning how to truly love not only others, but yourself. That's a huge lesson for almost every single person. So even if you just start there, you'll bring way more peace into your life just by starting with walking in love. What does that mean to walk in love? What does it really mean? Incredible book. Highly recommend it. So if you feel trapped, I would definitely go there and start that. Let me see. Best way to stop living in fear is to learn how to live as your higher self and not as your persona, not as your ego. So if you're living in fear, it means you're giving more thought to the things that you're afraid of than the things you're not afraid of. So it's all a matter of where our attention goes, our energy flows. So if you're giving more attention to things that cause you fear, not enough money, not having anyone in your life to love you, being alone, whatever it might be that you're fearing, you're giving too much attention to that. It's just like a lot of things. Just starve that beast. And so don't give it attention. Give attention to what you do want, the positive things you do want in your life and what you want to focus on, instead of giving attention to the things that cause this fear. And you're not going to have it in your purview. If you don't give it attention, you're not going to have it continue to be in your purview. It's coming up in your life because you're focusing on it. You're giving it attention. And what you focus on expands. It's just an energetic law. It's a law, spiritual law. What you focus on expands. So the book title is A Return to Love by Mary Ann Williamson. Sebastian Mather, love your videos. Thank you. Thank you. Do life path numbers have a connection to past lives? I don't know anything about life path numbers. I can't even comment on that. I'm a Reiki practitioner going for Reiki 3 in the spring. Yay! I love Reiki. I don't have time to do it anymore. Not with doing these sessions. I just can't. Let me see. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. Guys, again, go to my website, wokelightworker.com. Look at the courses that I have. Look at the courses I have coming up. Register for my higher self, connecting to your higher self class. That is a beautiful place to start with learning how to have more peace, learning the beginning steps on healing yourself, listening to your body, physical, mental, emotional healing. It's not the healing class, but it's the first step to getting there, working with your higher self to do those things, learning how to quiet the ego mind so that you can listen and live and be as your higher self. And then I have the Create a Life You Want to Live class out there for $11, guys. Come on, $11 for a class that can help you change your life and learn how to be a conscious creator of your life. And then my 4-week spiritual awakening boot camp, that is such a good class. If you're newer to spirituality, oh my gosh, it's everything I wish I would have had in the beginning of my spiritual awakening. You don't have to be brand new, but I'd say if you have been on your journey less than a year, it might be a really good place for you to learn some things. And again, patreon.com, look at my name, Woke Lightworker. Lots of higher self hypnosis videos out there. I have some on my YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram under Woke Lightworker, Pinterest under Woke Lightworker, and then be sure to join my Facebook page, wokelightworker.com too. Any classes that I have coming up are always announced on my Facebook page. And if you guys want a copy, a recording of my free meditation, Meeting Your Higher Self, email me, Tracy@wokelightworker.com. I will have my assistant get to everyone and get you a copy of that free meditation. It's Meeting Your Higher Self. It's by me. I did it all by myself. So thank you, the other woman is my daughter. This is my daughter, Cherish. Yep, she's almost 16. Woo! In March, she's going to be 16.
Drink water and fix your posture. I just heard that.
You drink water and fix your posture for you?
For everyone.
Oh, for everyone.
But yeah, me too.
She said she heard for everyone. Drink water and fix your posture.
And as you go around, if you feel like there's just like energy training, negative energy, just lack of love anywhere, then just give love to it. Walk
in love. That is the best advice ever. Whatever you do, do it in love. We are love. And when we are not walking and acting and living in love, we're not acting, walking, and living according to our true nature. So that causes friction in us when we're not walking in love.
And it may not be what we chose, but you're going to learn it and ascend to it in another lifetime if you don't in this one. So,
yeah. Cherish, she said, "Aw, Cow Tippeth, she's beautiful, looks exactly like you." My email again is Tracy@wokelightworker.com. If you guys want a copy of my free meditation, connecting to your higher self, meeting your higher self. I lead you in a guided meditation to meet your higher self. So if you want a copy of that free one, Crystal just emailed me and said she wants the free one. Email me. I'll have my assistant get it out to you guys. Even if it takes her a day or a day and a half or something like that, I'll have her work on getting it to you guys. But it's Meeting Your Higher Self, Tracy@wokelightworker.com. Send me an email. Tell me you want the free one. I am going to add you guys to my email list if you email me. Okay. That's just what's going to happen. I'm going to add you to my email list because I want you to know when I have classes coming up. I want to be able to connect to you guys. I want to get to know you guys. So,
and stretch a lot. Stretch every single part of your body all the time.
I keep hearing that from my higher self too. Stretch. Twins, you're all so cute. Thank you, Minnieberry.
Yeah. Every single part of your body needs to be stretched every day.
Okay. So go ahead and email me if you want a copy of that meditation, meeting your higher self, Tracy@wokelightworker.com. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Woke Lightworker, Patreon, Woke Lightworker to watch my videos, YouTube, Woke Lightworker to watch my videos. Guys, I just have 2 meditation recordings that I just put on my YouTube channel too, with some beautiful music that I had personally made. I paid a guy to make me some music that is 8 hours long that you can put on, and it's the love frequency, 528 hertz. So you can put it on while you're sleeping and just bask in the high frequency of the love frequency, 528 hertz.
And when you sleep, if you want any other specific to whatever you want or need, then healing or work done in your sleep, then just ask him.
Yeah, set the intention before you go to bed. Turn on that meditation music, the 528 hertz that I have on my YouTube channel, Woke Lightworker. Turn it on, set the intention. Hey, while I'm sleeping, I'm asking for my higher self to come in and just, do a total body healing on me, raise the frequency of my cells, my bones, my muscles, heal everything, bring everything into balance, clear my aura, balance my chakras. Just set the intention and ask your higher self to do that and witness it. Ask your higher self to watch that healing take place while you're sleeping. Hi, Keisha. I got your email asking for the free meditation. So set the intention and turn on that 528 frequency that you can find on my YouTube channel that I had made. I got 2 of them out there, guys. So I wish you all a very good night. You're so welcome, Cheeks. You're so welcome. I emailed you earlier, but I didn't remember the name of it when I sent the email. Email me again then, Jonesy, because if it doesn't say that you want the email for the free meditation, my assistant won't know what you're emailing about. She'll just add you to my email list without sending you anything. So make sure you request the free, email me at Tracy@wokelightworker.com and request the free meditation, Meeting Your Higher Self. And yes, I'm going to add you to my email list when you reach out to me. That's just kind of a given. So I'm running a business too, guys. I want you to know about my services. I want you to hear from me. I want to share some stories about my life and what's happened to me and how I got into this. So I'm going to email you some really cool things too, not just always try to market things to you guys. So Carrie Rose, I got yours too. So thank you everyone for watching. I love you all so much. And I hope to see you in my January course, connecting to your higher self. You're going to love it. Go to wokelightworker.com under courses and you guys can register there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram on wokelightworker. Okay. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing, amazing night.